Every taxi driver I ask, how many children do you have? They have one or two.
Yeah.
Did they go to college? Well, of course.
Yeah.
Yes. They take
Of
value in
course.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a great pride today in having good education. Korea is probably the best educated country in the world. Korea started a Mokpan revolution 500 years before Gutenberg. Metal movable type only 200 years before Gutenberg. But the Mokpan was the true revolution.
So let's move on to the part two, Sunbi culture from
Oh,
now
yeah,
on, which
yeah.
is just related to the educational
Yep.
Exactly.
topic too.
Yes.
So one of the themes you often emphasize is Koreans' Sunbi culture and the idea that pen is mightier than a sword.
Yes.
Because while Japan long valued the culture of samurai, the power of the sword, but Korea placed more importance on scholarship and written word, right? So could you explain this in more detail?
Yeah, it's really interesting. The pen is mightier than the sword. And with the Mokpan, the woodblock printing, you have an educational system where you're taking tests by the pen or the brush in
Yeah, the
Korea.
brush.
The brush. And Korea developed this strong culture 1,000 years ago. And the sunbi were more important than the warrior. Now, in most other cultures, and my friends here from France and from Turkey,
Yeah.
you have a warrior tradition.
We do,
All
yeah.
countries have a warrior tradition. But Korea, interestingly, very, very early on, moved from the warrior tradition, and with the power of the pen and the examination system, that gave power to the central government.
Yeah.
And with the central government recruiting by scholarship, it replaced the feudalism. And in most other countries, feudalism continued well into the 20th century, But Korea abandoned feudalism very, very early, in roughly the 10th century. It was a process, but through the 10th, 11th, 12th century, Korea got rid of feudalism as they had this centralized state. And to get into the centralized state, to have power, to have a position, it wasn't through the sword, it was through the pen. So Korea is the culture of the pen, or the sunbi.
Wow.
It took a lot more centuries in Europe to abolish feudalism, 5, 6 more centuries. isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that's really remarkable about Korea. It was very advanced early on in culture,
Yes.
in cultural things, education, culture.
In France, we also had this long tradition of nobility and military power. Hearing that a society like Korea is values so highly scholarships to the point of shaping the nation. What impact do you think this had on Korea's overall development?
Yeah, that's one reason why Korea has developed so quickly after the Korean War, for example. Most other countries have the warrior tradition. You have the Joan of Arc.
Oh, yeah.
Joan of Arc is a marvelous
Icon.
hero
Yes.
in French culture. She was a warrior.
Yes.
Sure.
And Korea, of course, has its warriors. There's nobody greater than Lee Sun-shin. He was wonderful.
Yeah.
He was an incredible warrior. But the dominant tradition in Korea is the sunbi, and it's still the same today.
In Turkey as well, we have a really long tradition of empire and military, right? But the way Korea has prioritized scholarship over weapons is really intriguing to me as well. What do you think that this tradition has left its mark to modern Korean identity that we have right now?
I think Koreans see themselves as a scholarly people, and
They do.
they all have to study, have to pass the exam
Yeah.
still today, and that's very dominant. Korea has the highest high school graduation rate in the world,
Oh, that's really interesting.
and the
I didn't know
highest
that.
college graduation rate in the world.
Wow.
I take a lot of taxis when I come. I don't rent a car. I ride taxis. I ride the subway too, but I like to ride the taxi. When I do, I always interview the taxi driver. I always have to talk to the taxi driver.
Oh, yeah. That's one way to improve your Korean.
And the taxi drivers, you might think, are of the working class. Every taxi driver I ask, how many children do you have? They have one or two.
Yeah.
Did they go to college? Well, of course.
Yeah.
Yes. They take
Of
value in
course.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a great pride today in having good education. Korea is probably the best educated country in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
Honestly, that also I realized that the taxi drivers, although they are older, they are really knowledgeable. Like they know a lot about other countries as well. They've traveled a lot. They know about my culture, which is always really like touching too. But they're really smart and really knowledgeable.
And Turkey helped Korea in the Korean War.
Yeah.
Yeah. 현재 나라.
So
Yeah.
Koreans are very appreciative.
They're
Of that.
super nice, especially the elderly people.
Yeah.
They know more about it, I think. So they're super sweet. As when they hear I'm from Turkey, they're super kind, and they always talk about Korean War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you please explain what is like a Sunbi spirit to us?
Yeah, the Sunbi, simply put, is a scholar.
Uh-huh.
But the character for Sunbi is the character Yu for Yu-Gyo, meaning
Yu-Gyo, yeah.
Confucian.
Yeah, Confucian.
So to say scholar implies Confucian scholar. Now, Korea had a great scholarly tradition in Buddhism as well.
yeah.
But the examination system and the governmental system was all Confucianism. So when you say Sunbi, you're talking about a Confucian scholar. So what does he study? He studies the Confucian ideology. He studies Chung, loyalty, Hyo, filial piety. Then we say Inwiyeji,
Wow.
which is benevolence, justice, etiquette, and knowledge. And think about that. That's Korea.
Yeah.
Etiquette. Koreans are very polite. And in is benevolence. And ui is justice. Korea has a very strong judicial system. And people, if something's unfair, Korean will say, that's unfair,
Yeah.
because you want fairness. And then the last one is G, knowledge, which again is what we were talking about.
Yeah.
That's the Sunbi.
Is there any similarity with your culture with Sunbi spirit? Do you have any spirit like that in your country?
I can't think of a true like scholar system, but school was mainly something for nobles for a very, very, very long time. And it's only like in the 19th century with Napoleon that we actually started to develop a school system which was supposed to like be something else than the classic etiquette and like how to rule people. It's when nobility started to crumble that like we started to actually have a scholar system where people could actually shine and all these things, where we started to implement value. But it took like about 1,000 years for France to do that, so it was very, very late on Korea.
Well, with Turkey, I would say it is a bit similar to Korea in the sense that actually Turkish people also really value knowledge and education. Well, they have the saying in Korea where like your parents always want you to be either a doctor or a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
Actually, in Turkey, we also have the same,
Oh.
like that culture where your family is intended. They're always like, oh, you speak well, you should be a lawyer or you should be a doctor, So that's why we also really value education so much. And we also have, like in Korea, different types of education where it's like even in high school you can choose which path you want to go.
Wow.
Whereas it is arts you want to do, or it is, we also have science high schools where if you're more on the scientific, more interested in that, you can also do that. And also universities, families often really care which university you go to. If you're studying in Istanbul, that's a really big thing because the big universities are there. So always they value, if you're studying in Istanbul, that means that you're really smart.
Oh.
Like that system is also really apparent in Turkey as well.
Yeah, just like Seoul in Korea.
Yeah.
Like, students have to
The
study in
center,
Seoul.
yeah.
In the center. All right. Why is there such a concentration of surnames? And what role did genealogy culture play in Korean society?